that's fantastic. You'll actually
Yep.
live here. She said, yeah, I'll live there. And we have a pool. And she said, can I bring my grandson? And I said, absolutely, you know.
That's so fun.
So I made her 2 meals and a dessert before we left, so she would have food to eat. She wouldn't have to bring her own food.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So yesterday I saw her
Uh-huh,
at the grocery store.
uh-huh.
I turned to the counter and there she is. Denise, hey, she said, I got your letter. I said, thanks, I appreciate that. If you know anybody, and we talked for about 10 minutes.
Yep,
And I said, if you know anybody, because the people that you know, I don't know.
right,
And somebody, we had a pool, I told you we had a pool party,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
And somebody at the pool party, so our dog sitter painted us a picture of our dogs. While when she was there, she took pictures of them, sent them to us. When we were sitting on the beach, she's like, which ones do you like? That one. So we commissioned a painting of the 2 dogs, the 2 Shelties we have.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
Shelties, I love Shelties.
we had the pool party,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, these are people that we've known for several years. Come look, so it's hanging on the wall. Oh, that's fantastic. Who did that? And I went through the story. And she said, you know, I heard a friend of ours was our customer too. And we, you know, so it was like, what a small world. Anyway, so we were standing there talking yesterday, and I said, if you know anybody
Yep,
that wants to buy or sell a house, keep me in mind, remember that I'm a real estate agent.
yep,
And she said, I will, certainly. And I said, listen, I just want to tell you, we really appreciate you and what you do for us. And then I said the same thing to Beth this morning. I said, you know, I just want to tell you I appreciate you, all the support you've already given me and what you've done so far. I just want to tell you it's working, and I really appreciate it. I just appreciate you, and I thank you very much. And I've done that like, over the past month or 2, just like 10 times to people, just out of the
well,
blue.
people remember that.
Yeah.
People love to feel appreciated.
Oh, no doubt. And it, you know, when I was in a management position,
Uh-huh.
I always tried to compliment somebody in front of somebody else.
Oh, love that,
Right.
Uh-huh.
Or say, you know what, they tell me you're doing such a great job. And I, you know, maybe it's reading, maybe what, you know, all that stuff is just, it's different, you know. And I know for a fact that this is gonna work because I don't have a choice. Because I'm not going back to work a, you know, traveling job, you know,
No.
selling software to school districts in states I don't live in.
No,
So it has to work.
yeah, no, and they say that actually that gives you a benefit, you know, because you have no plan B, and you can't have a plan B. They say the people that do succeed, the hustle humbly girls, who you like, because, and Beth talks about them a lot, and Beth has gotten, she says this a lot, and I don't know where they took it from, but it's like community over competition, which I
Yeah.
love, because we all have
Yeah.
our own sphere,
Yeah.
like, you know, and I love that, and she gets it, and I've always been surprised by agents have like a cutthroat mentality, because like, your people, like, they go to your pool parties aren't my mom or
Right.
friends that hang out, like, they're so silly. But, oh, where was I going with that? But yeah, they say, the hustle humbly girls say, like, you can't have a plan B, you have to work it like there is no plan B.
Right. And I've done 100% commission before
Yeah,
when I sold vacuum cleaners. And it's freaking hard. And I told Beth today, she brought up that, you know, the competition thing. And she's like, why you know, if I teach, she said, I want you to be better than me. I want you to be so much
Uh-huh.
better than me.
uh-huh,
And
Oh, I
people
love that.
worry that if I train you and show you everything that I know, then you're gonna take business from me and you're gonna be better than me. She said, I want you to be better than me. And I said, that's the mentality that I've always had. I want to teach you everything I know,
Yeah.
because when you go up, I do too.
right,
All the boats rise when the
Yes.
tide comes in, right? And people have this mentality,
Rising
if I help you,
questions or something?
then I'm gonna be left out. I said, I will go from Clarksville to Christiana, from Dixon to Watertown. You know how many houses are in that sphere?
Yeah.
I said, hell, I'll go to Chattanooga or Knoxville
Yeah.
or Memphis or wherever. I don't care. And there's a lot of agents that won't. You know, they want to stay in their little bubble. They want to stay, you know, oh, I live in Mount Juliet. I'm just going to, well, why would you do that? And she said, there is no competition. Because the people that you know, I don't know. And the people I know, you don't know. And you'll get leads from people because of the work that you're doing. I got leads because of the work that I do.
Yep.
And I told her, You know, we've got a strategy now. We didn't have a strategy because nobody ever said, these are the 5 things that you need to do every week. And if you do these 5 things, you can't help but succeed.
Right,
It's proven, right?
right.
And I told
Just keep at
Anita,
it.
Beth came here from Wisconsin, didn't know a soul.
I love it.
And we can do the same thing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in Old Hickory and Herman, just
Yes.
knocking on doors, hand my
Yes.
business card,
I
you know?
love it.
We've already sent like 40 letters out to businesses and to people that because like our vet, our dentist, our eye person, our
Yeah.
eye doctor,
Yeah,
you know? You never know.
you never know.
And-
And working with other businesses too is really where it's at.
That's
It's
the other
a
thing.
referral.
So I called my superintendent, right, from Memphis Investment
Uh-huh.
Properties. I said, I need you to give me a list of all the plumbers, electricians,
Yes.
roofers,
Genius.
HVAC, pest control,
Yep,
landscapers, everybody that we do business with that aren't part of our crews, right? Because they have to bring in an electrician, they have to bring in an HVAC guy. So I said, what I'm gonna do is, I want you to give me a list of their name, email addresses, and phone numbers.
Yep.
And I'm gonna create, when I send the letter out, it's gonna have their information at the bottom of my letter,
oh, I love it.
right?
Uh-huh.
Some advertising for them.
Uh-huh,
And I'm gonna sit down and have coffee or lunch with every one of them, and when I do,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, this is what I'm doing for you. So keep me in mind whenever you go to a house, and you listen. That's all you have to do is listen. Because people will tell you what their plans are. And Beth said, you know, I just got a roofer sent me, I sent a roofer business 3 weeks ago, and he just texted me and said he's got somebody who wants to list their house. I'm like, this is so, it's simple, but it's not easy, right? It's simple.
Right,
Here are the
right.
5 things you
It
need
is,
to do, but it's not
exactly.
easy because it's
simple,
hard
it's-
work.
Right,
And I,
that's what I like about Beth though, is she doesn't make it about magic, or she doesn't make it
Right.
about anything like that. She's like, you put in the work.
sweat equity,
Yeah, the first time I talked to her, she's like, I put in the hours, and Cayenne too, and Cayenne's great. Cayenne was like, you just put in the hours.
Yeah.
You keep at it, and you keep at it. But the way Beth talks about it makes a lot of sense, because if you don't have enough people in your sphere right now, you also have to supplement with leads.
Sure.
You know, or if you have more time than money, here's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So like,
and you can't be afraid to do anything.
no,
And I'm not. I mean, I'll go, I mean, I used to knock on doors twice a day.
yeah,
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. So we're gonna create a door hanger,
love it.
right?
Love it, yeah,
And those, so it's gonna be a twofold thing. The door hangers, I'm gonna do it for us, but I'm also do it for Memphis Investment Property. So I can go,
yeah.
you know, for these crappy houses, like the one I looked at today.
And
And,
you found a crappy house in Old Hickory?
oh my God, it's horrible.
How much are they selling it for? I want-
More than they want, more than they should. I mean,
I
can-
want a crappy house for me and my family in
I'm
Old
go-
Hickory.
I'm going to look at one in Hermitage at 1 o'clock today.
I don't want to.
They only want 159 for it. Wholesaler.
What?
I'll tell you how much they want for this, and I'll show you the pictures.
I want one in Old Hickory Village. I want to fix, I want a
Old Hickory
crappy house.
Village.
Yeah. Like right next to Sam's. I want something in Old Hickory close enough to the marina.
Where's Sam? Oh, you're talking about off Old Hickory Boulevard.
Yeah, the Village of Old Hickory, like,
Sam's?
yeah, the bar, the little bar.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
Because I love the like little marina area.
295. Look at that. Look at the pictures. That's an actual, that's old, it's still Old Hickory. But you know where Langford Farms is? Off Saundersville Road?
Mm,
Do you know
No.
where LOK Corral is?
mm-mm.
A Mexican restaurant? Do you know where,
Rare opportunity.
yeah. This guy's crazy. I don't even know what the pictures look like online. Oh, the front and the back.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah, it's not much.
So let me show you the pictures. Here we go. See, look at these pictures.
Hello?
These are the real pictures.
Mm. Oh. Yeah, oh. This is exactly what we want though.
And you want to put 100 grand into a house?
If this, yeah. If this location was closer to Sam's, I'd say we'd be interested in this house.
It's not far from where you're talking about. You know where Shoot Lane is?
I want something like, here's what I really want.
Well,
I'll put it on the vision.
want,
I know, it might take a couple years to get there. So my kids are 2 and 1, and by the time they get to kindergarten, I want to be in either Hendersonville or Old Hickory, like by the lake, in a fixer-upper. We have this house that we're building that's massive, and it's really, really too big for us.
why are you building it?
Good question. We thought we'd stay in East Nashville for forever. But
So where
East
you building the
Nashville's
house?
changed. In East Nashville.
Don't you live in a house now?
We live in the house we're renovating.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so we are adding on 1,700 square feet to a 700 square foot house. So it feels like an all-new house. But it was 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and now it's 6 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. And we're really close to downtown, and we might just Airbnb it because it's
How many
so
kids do you have?
lucrative. We have 3.
Okay.
We have a 10-year-old who we have joint custody of my stepson, and then
Okay.
our 2 little babies.
Okay.
But like, we all end up in the same bed anyways. I'm like, why do we have 6 beds?
No kidding. So you want to live out by a lake,
Yes,
not necessarily in Old Hickory,
right,
because Old Hickory Lake is big.
right,
So you want to live by a lake.
yes. So Hendersonville, Gallatin, we're looking at like those sorts of areas.
Mount Juliet, Old Hickory,
I don't love Mount Juliet for some reason.
not really Mount Juliet. It's closer to Old Hickory than it is.
Are you in Mount Juliet?
You know where Saundersville Road is?
No, I don't know.
You think Mount Juliet, you're thinking of Providence,
I don't know what I'm.
On I-40.
I don't like it. Yeah, yeah.
right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 10 miles north of there. I live on the lake.
I want to.
I live at I can see the lake from my diving
Right.
board.
That's what I want.
That's Old Hickory, that's Mount Juliet too.
Okay, then I'm okay with
You
Old
need
Hickory.
to change your attitude about
You're
that.
right.
Because, okay, if you go down Old Hickory Boulevard
Uh-huh.
and you turn left on Shoot Lane, you know where this school is right there.
I think so.
Do you get out anywhere in this
Yeah.
area?
No, I'm a Nashvilleian.
That doesn't matter. You're a real estate agent. Do you not travel all over Middle Tennessee?
I have not been to Saunders Lane and Shoot Lane.
Saundersville. Okay, listen to me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, if you go, you know how to get to Old Hickory Boulevard?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you how to get to
No.
Old Hickory? Okay, go south on Old Hickory Boulevard.
Uh-huh.
You know where the Hermitage Golf Course is?
Yes?
Okay, just past the Hermitage Golf Course,
Uh-huh.
there's Shoot Lane on the left. Major intersection, there's a school on the corner.
Yeah, okay.
You turn left there.
Uh-huh,
You go down a mile, and you come to another red light,
uh-huh,
and you turn left.
uh-huh.
And you go 2 blocks to another red light, and you turn left, and that's Saundersville Road.
Okay,
That's still considered Old Hickory, because the house I have for sale is in Old Hickory. All that area until you get almost to the lake,
uh-huh.
that's still Old Hickory. And then it turns into Mount Juliet. And there's a dividing line, the Wilson-Davidson County
Yeah.
line. When you cross into, so those houses, the house that I have on the market in Old Hickory is Wilson County.
How much is your house? The house that you have?
We've had this conversation,
Oh, and it's too much, right?
and it's not big enough. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it's $449.
Oh, it's,
They're gonna have to take less, they're gonna have, because there's one around the corner for $399. It's not redone, it's old, it was built in the 70s. And then this one I looked at today
uh-huh.
is like 6 blocks from there. And I guarantee I'm gonna make an offer on this guy, this house, and I'll make an offer about 200. He wants 295.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say to the agent, have you been in the house? It's gonna take like $120,000 to renovate it. I mean, it's horrible. So anyway, broaden your horizons when you're talking about the lake, because the south end of Old Hickory Lake is Mount Juliet, Old Hickory.
Okay,
I crossed the lake 3 times going home. And then when I turn left on Saundersville Ferry Road, I hit the lake again. And I
uh-huh.
go around the bend and I turn left on our street and go to my house, and if I stand on my diving board, I can see the lake across the street. We live on a cul-de-sac. We live at the beginning of the street is a cul-de-sac. There's only like 12 or 14 houses on our street.
Okay.
But I can see the lake. I could walk across the street and go jump in the lake if I wanted to.
See, I want
That's
that.
what you need to be thinking about. And
I
that
know.
area out there is really a good area. And your kids are gonna have to go to school. Your biological plus your stepson.
I know. And stepson goes to Rutherford County, because he's out there.
Oh, you finagle that around. But the two that your biological kids, in 2 years, 3 years, they're gonna have to go to school. I would not want my kids to go to Davidson County School.
No, my kids aren't.
Are they gonna go to private school?
I'm just gonna be under the radar, they're just not gonna go to school.
Oh, right.
I'm not
You're gonna
homeschooled.
you get to pick up whatever. Learn math, figure it out yourself.
That's right, go to the store and buy the groceries, learn math.
Figure
Learn
it
how
out.
to change. No,
But Wilson County schools, fantastic schools.
they're, I know. And Wilson's good, Sumner County's good.
Yes.
So either of those two, so that's good. That's good to know. So
You
in the
just
next
need to
6
drive
years-
out there,
I know,
just to drive around.
I should.
I can give you my address and you don't have to come to the house, you just drive in that
I'm gonna
area.
drop, I'm gonna do a Popeye. You know, Beth talks about Popeyes.
Yes, you do too. Don't pop by my house.
Why not?
And don't pop by anybody on that street either.
You don't like my Popeye. I sent a picture, and Grace is the only one that responded, Grace and Beth. No one else responded to my Popeyes. I came down here for a reason.
Okay.
And this meeting is gonna start in 20 minutes. I gotta figure out how to get it going. Uh-oh.
Okay. Are we done?
I think we're done. This was very,
You know, keep in mind, people are finished, meat is done. Are we finished?
yes. Okay, but I like
Keep
these.
speaking it.
I like these chats though, where we build
Me
each
too.
other up.
Yes.
And where we like digest what we
Right.
heard best thing.
If I mean, I like to say I'm a lifelong learner. I can learn from
Yeah.
anybody.
Yep,
I'm coachable.
yep,
I'm teachable.
yep.
I don't know.
That's how you have to be.
I don't
because-
know what I don't know though,
Right.
right?
Right. And that's the whole thing about real estate is that,
Yesterday was like fireworks going off. I'm telling you, it was
Yes.
like, in 3+ years, that's the best thing that I've heard. Now, even when I started
Yeah.
with Memphis Investment Properties, they're like, go find houses, go get you some wholesalers.
yeah, no, and you should do, and Beth draws on a lot of different people. I love how Beth compiles it all together, but like, I think she would say do the Buffini class that we're teaching
I'm going to.
here.
I'm going
Perfect. Buffini's gonna be really good, Hustle Humbly's really good. Everything that Beth says that she's looked at or she's
Yeah,
listened
do
to,
it.
I go and I
Yeah,
read and
yeah.
I like. So I'm listening to all the Hustle Humbly podcasts right now. And it's fantastic because they also like break it down into digestible, like
Yes.
tangible chunks of like, here's the, like I love how Beth's like, here's the 5 things.
Right.
You know, and she said this about social media. She said, I've never gotten a lead from social media, from
Right.
the content that I put out.
Right.
She said, but people have looked at it to make sure,
She is who she says she is.
yeah.
Or she's legit.
And I was like, see, this is great. I don't want to spend my time on social
Neither do
media. No.
I've followed about 100 people since we had that meeting
Did you?
on my Instagram page. So is Grace here, do you know?
Give her a text, tell her happy birthday. She's not coming.
I just need, I got my Facebook page. I now have admin rights to my Facebook page. So I need to know how to link my Instagram to my Facebook. I talked to the lady in Canada yesterday. I didn't talk to her, I emailed back and forth, and she made me admin. I didn't have that prior to yesterday. So I don't know how to link my
Who's the lady
Facebook.
in Canada? Who's running your Facebook page? Your
A
previous
lady in
wife?
Canada.
I'm just kidding.
No, she worked for me.
Ex-Anita. Oh.
Actually, she worked for the company that I worked for, and it's a Canadian company. And she said, it would just came up in conversation one day. She would vent to me. She would call me and say, this sucks, I hate our VP, but, you know, on her. And I would like, hold on. And anyway, I said, I just got my real estate license. Oh, well, I've done social media for a bunch of real estate agents. I've done it for years. I'm like, really? Okay. you can do mine, and I'll pay you to do it. So I did. And she created my Facebook page and did, now it's changed, it's different now. But I didn't have admin rights to it because she was the admin.
Right, that makes sense.
So if I wanted her to post something, I'd just email her, hey, can you put this on? Can you? Anyway, so Sync was the other thing I wanted to ask about.
Uh-huh,
So I used to use Sync like 2 years ago,
okay.
and I didn't get diddly squat from them. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
You paid for leads?
Yes,
Yes,
which was a waste of money.
okay.
Anita wanted me to ask about that.
Yes, you have to talk to Ed and you have to get on, there's currently a wait list. I don't pay for sync leads, so I can't speak to that, but there is currently a wait list to get on. I think, from what I understand, it just takes a lot more calling to convert them, so like,
It takes 6 months instead of,
well, and
90
it
days.
takes calling 20 times a month, kind of a thing,
okay.
So,
Do you have to pay for that or not?
you do, you have to pay for sync leads.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, so I think it's 150, that's how much it was last
month?
time. Uh-huh. Now, people that, like a lot of people, that's how they closed a lot of deals, the first.
Well, it was much more than that for me. And they created a web page for me.
Oh, yeah, you have a web page that's free.
Okay. What is that web page? Do you remember?
jamie.hendersonville.homelistings.com or something, I can send it to you.
Okay. And how do I get to it? Just put that in my browser?
Uh-huh.
And I need to link that to what? Because we looked at it the day before yesterday. Grace and I were sitting there on the computer and we
Yes.
looked at it. So it's there.
It's there.
What
You'll
good
wanna-
does it do?
If people show up on your website, you can see them as a lead and you can call them. I just want my, like Beth says, I want my storefront to look okay when people Google me.
Yeah. And that would be one of the ones that pops up.
Right.
Right.
But that's it.
Okay.
And then I want to post, like, I want to schedule like one piece of content a week or something to go out. But I want
On your webpage?
On Facebook.
Oh, okay.
But I want to spend 10 minutes a week doing it.
Yeah, instead of 5 hours a day.
Yeah. So I don't know. Because
You
I
look at
just,
the clock, that makes me nervous.
I know, I just waste time on Facebook is the problem. I don't use it productively. Maybe some people do, but I also.
I do. I look at, because I can find wholesalers and I can find houses
yeah.
on,
I also, this is some, okay, have you read Ninja Selling?
not yet.
My favorite book.
Hold on.
But they say use Facebook to find out stuff that's going on in people's personal life. And then.
Send them a note. Hey, I know you're a dentist. I know you're
No,
going through a
and then
divorce.
Yeah, their birthday, call them up on their birthday and say, hey, I was thinking about you, happy birthday. Stuff like that. Not with,
Okay.
not with mine, and I did like that. So I have that. and I
Did you
called
what?
people who the-
Oh, no, he's not for street lights, he's going to put on a little bit like a window. Oh, no, it's dirt bike. Yeah. Yeah. You got me? Do you have one that I can borrow, please? Because I forgot to bring a regular pen, I only brought a marker pen. Or one of yours?
Yeah, let me get you a blue one.
Just
Thank you
my
so
name.
much.
Just my name.
Yeah, just your name and her name is.
Right, love you. Bye.
Good morning, how are you all doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing
You decided
good.
if you want that.
Oh, yes. Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? I'm hanging in there and still a kicking. How's that sound? Thank you, ma'am, Miss Tina.
There's one straight through there and then all the way down to the back, which is.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Let me know, we wanna work with you on a deal kind of thing. I don't know if it'll go up any, but.
Oh, I love that for you. Hey, ladies.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I'm gonna sit there and do.
Am I blocking you for some?
I love that shirt.
I said, hi, hi,
How are you doing? I don't think
I was thinking that too. I was
thinking all that.
I'm sorry.
I don't think I've met yet. Cocktail.
I need a vacation somewhere.
I am.
I like it. It's kind of like, I'm like, yesterday it's rainy, but I thought it's supposed to be sunny.
No, I don't know.
Which,
about
I mean,
both
it's not
yet.
enough rainy, but I think it's
yes,
sunny.
I think it is
Yes,
too.
I
I
was
drove
like,
through
way
three
too
different
busy to
clients.
do.
When I was coming here. Oh, sunny, oh, here's the
Yeah.
Oh, so it's awful.
Yeah, I was so proud of you this morning, I was like, in the
once
rain,
that
like,
I'd rather
oh,
go
because I was
to
standing outside going,
Dennis
you know what, and then
and,
it was sunny by the time I got home.
The other one said, I have a closing that week and it's not that day, but still I don't wanna do it. And so it's like, call Tina.
I was in Jackson County, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Yeah, and so I was getting stuff set up there for an Airbnb that I invested in. Yes.
I need to get some more white pants, and when I feel like
I've got
washed
3
mine
now.
and put it in the back pocket.
Yep, I've got
And
one.
This is like my third friend this year.
because I keep seeing him.
Keep messing around. Okay, so I got these on Amazon.
We did not need to.
And so they're
You don't want to be.
yeah, so they're crystal jeans, you know, so they look like jeans, but here, pull on there.
Yeah.
It's up to
Oh,
you.
yeah, it's all soft and it has the thing, so it looks like I'm professional.
Yes, I should have. I wanted to do it since I was 12.
We're not recording. Because they were like less than 30
Yeah, I don't like to
which I was
record.
really excited about.
I speak very frank.
Yes,
And
okay, so.
And so I'll do it again, this is what I'll do, I'll do it again.
I was
having a little protest with the last meeting that we had at our, it was a silent personal, only one person in the protest, which was me. I like woke up that morning, super salty. It wasn't just that morning, it was like a whole bunch of stuff going on. And I had been watching this webinar on for real estate agents, all this stuff. And the guy was like, you know, it's not professional for a woman to show up with no makeup and her hair not done, and you should always have your nails done, and I was just boiling, and I'm thinking, this is my face that I was born with, and if I don't want to paint myself, I won't. Yeah, that's my choice. You don't get to see what's professional and what's not. So that last week, I just morning, and I'm like, I'm not putting on a bra, I'm not putting on makeup, I'm not doing anything, and then I'm like sitting
I
in the
am,
back.
so right now, I am worried that this is gonna talk to that.
We're sitting on the side of me, and they're the only ones that knew.
So I can't show up there to tell?
No, we just had issues with it last time, I just
born
wanna
like
make sure
this,
that's
right?
gonna show up.
And they were like, ooh, like we were all, and then I was.
All right, we are not recording today.
Okay, okay.
Sorry.
It's all
Tina,
good.
I see
Tina
Frank.
already sent the link.
That's right, we know that,
Let me
that's
see.
what's gonna.
I'll just go tell Tina and say we're not gonna record.
I can just text her, hold on.
Okay.
Or I can keep it clean this time, and very vanilla,
Oh, that's no.
and then we can do it again in September. And the thing about it is, last time I bought bagels, and more people showed up. You know how it is, food with realtors, they show up, but that's any office.
Yeah.
I'm taking her right now.
Who hasn't used Dotloop at all?
I did one time, but
Okay.
a long time ago.
Okay. This is not coming on, is it? What is the deal?
For some reason, the screen doesn't show, I mean, it'll show up on the big screen, but not on the laptop.
Hey, good morning, how are you?
Okay, so we should just have like, an intern at a college that's taking computer science come and say, yes, let me pay you very low amount of money, I'm an intern.
I wonder if there's a
Yes.
button, because it was always on the screen, and then I was like, it wasn't on the
Julia,
screen.
she said no, keep it going.
What?
She
Yeah, I
told
know,
you, keep it
I already knew it was gonna happen.
Oh.
I had to tell you ahead of time.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It'll be very vanilla. Okay. It's okay.
I like this screen.
You're welcome.
You put your name in here, 'cause
Yeah.
I still don't know them all by heart.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's good and bad.
I'm gonna text it to you right now. It's
I
Kara.
appreciate it.
I'm like, I'm gatekeeping my name.
What's going on?
Yeah.
It's
More
this
back.
thing.
Yes,
This
yes.
cord is like,
Power?
this cord, it's temperamental, and this is what happened to me, like the light will go on and it will off, like,
Oh, yeah, that is good.
yeah, it's not connects to, this is probably dead. That's probably what's happening. So you want to use, did you bring a laptop?
No.
I can get my laptop.
Isn't it?
No, it's yours Apple?
No.
Okay, well, mine's regular, so we can just use my laptop, because I think that's
Yeah,
probably.
you had it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, see, shh. Oh, it has no power, okay.
now where's that?
Is that even on?
So do not move, right?
No, it's
Don't
not.
move anything,
Right,
because if I do,
Don't, yeah.
yeah.
Let's turn this guy on.
It's on.
There should be.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah, this-
picture?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
I'll do that one.
There we go.
Got it?
Yeah, it's spring, so
Okay.
let's give it a minute to warm up. Okay, otherwise.
Okay, and y'all, I have a contract going, that's why
Julia?
I have to kind of keep my phone.
To record.
That's okay.
So sorry.
We totally
What?
understand. Okay, it's working, let's see, it's now we just.
She said we can't.
No, she
See
can't.
if I can put it on
She said we
vibrate.
can't.
Yeah, I had Pilates this morning, then I had to go pick up a check before she flew out of town, because I was pretty sure the deal was gonna get done. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna barely make it here by 10:30.
That she has agreed to be recorded. I didn't know that she didn't want to be recorded.
So are we sitting there this
So they had already
today?
sent out.
Oh, yeah.
and stuff like that.
We just have to sit next to each other because
So then
Yeah,
she
like
came
how
today,
that-
she
that's how we
said,
learn.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
recorded, but now, now she's fine. Being recorded, she said just keep it without myself. Hey!
Chance to write anything.
Hi there, how you doing?
So a friend of mine, married yesterday.
Yeah.
So she wants to sell this property, and so she's just like, send it out to your realtor.
Make sure everybody signs in the book. Thank you.
If you don't know anybody, if you click on the information, I think it's in the I can't remember exactly, but.
It's not paired up with the screen.
Oh, it's a big house. It's a big house, you know, it's a big,
Yeah.
that's what's kind of challenging, but, I think it's a big house and it has like a very good showing, 3 baths, something like that, so.
Yeah, people are
like,
trickling in, which is great.
It is, I think it's
It's
kind
like,
of accessible.
can you just?
So it's kind of a, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit of a different.
went away.
approach.
Hey, tropical beach today.
There you go. Oh, your shoes.
They have little golf teams this week.
No, they don't.
It's logged in, and this screen goes.
Where did you get those? Where'd you get them?
Like 3 years ago online.
Oh my
You know, they're not for every day.
Right, right.
Oh, those golf teams, but yeah.
They're adorable.
So it needs to go on duplicate.
Oh.
I can't see where I'm going. There you go.
You're a genius.
Yeah, you get colored.
Oh my gosh, you did.
You go, girl.
Wow.
Oh, it's all.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I read that just like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah.
Even with your.
No, I didn't have this.
When I offer on something today.
Oh, I'm sorry you did this. But yeah, that's great. Yeah, I don't have to.
Yeah.
We just got a message from yesterday, I think, that they want to hold on to their CDP list or whatever, but I'm not an approved.
Oh,
Investor.
investor for.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, so I'm like, that's all I got from them, I haven't got anything else, so.
What's going on?
But that's okay, because I, actually, I'm working on.
I know,
something now that's,
I know, I missed you too. I missed everybody, but I've been kind of in, so just
It's like
getting
2
things
hours
done
from
and
here,
spending
an hour
time
and
with
a
my
half.
grandbabies right now, so they're all back in school, so I'm like settling down, yeah. Yeah, so things going on.
Kara, what are your last name?
RORABACK.
Heather told me I should introduce
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
you. Do you want an introduction?
no, I did, I slowed down quite a bit,
Well,
especially in July.
How fun.
And,
Do I need
so
to have a
that-
mic
I
on?
mean, I'm glad I got that, so.
Let's get you.
Wait, maybe I shouldn't have brought that up.
Sorry.
Breathe. Yeah, you just gotta breathe, yeah.
Now, the sad part is, I look out, you're all blurry, so I'm gonna be like this the whole time.
Across from each other, trying to work on those.
Bree talks so much.
Oh, I love my breed, that's for sure, absolutely, so, but, well, and maybe you need to support, so, put me in your phone and,
I'm gonna do,
and,
because I'm getting used to this real thing.
just shout if you need anything, okay?
Good morning, everyone. Just as Cat Realtor for Sumner County. I am teaching a class today, and I'm going to turn it around and say hi to all my students. We're in the best office in Sumner County, and we're going to learn some good stuff today. So come on down to Exit Real Estate Solutions.
Good shout out.
You're such a natural.
Yes.
All right, save it.
All right. Is this working? Hello, hello.
Oh, it's the broker one, it
Is it
should say broker agents on
Broker
it, I think.
agent, okay.
I got it.
5 stones,
Okay.
all lowercase is the password.
5 stones.
5 stones.
All right, let's
spell
see.
it out.
Oh, this is working now. Okay. Hi, everyone. Heather asked me to introduce Kathy LaCroix. So I am, and she's going to talk today on contracts and $.
Oh gosh, thank you.
If the technology doesn't,
It's charged.
Yourself on the
It's
website.
charged.
It's charged. So everyone give a warm welcome to our very own Kathy LaCroix.
Okay, so let me ask again.
we all use dot loop in some form or fashion. So I don't have to go like, this is how you open dot loop, you know, no?
No.
Okay. All right, so what is something that you want to get out of today, so this way I can make sure I can cover it?
Yeah, so
What's that?
dinging away.
Well, as I was trying to play around with dot loop, I realized that stuff didn't automatically download, so I'm sure I missed something somewhere. Because I was playing with it, trying to self-learn and watching some videos. And I know that from being on DocuSign, everything downloaded, like the information for that, the buyer, the seller, the information I had in my system, my signatures down at the bottom of all the forms, it all carried over and everything. So that was my biggest question, but I was just getting started too.
Okay, so you have a loop open, let me see if I'm understanding you. You have a loop open and you're trying to put documents into that loop?
That was one thing I did have trouble with, so I figured that would be a basic for you, but whenever I was filling out the documents for my client, it wasn't filling in like their name.
Okay, okay, all right.
Okay.
Kathy,
So-
I was just gonna write up here
Yep.
the questions.
Yep. So, okay, so let's just go to a loop that I can play around in. I don't want to do that one, let's go into one that's archived. Okay, so one thing that I will tell you is when you have a loop, whether you're starting buyer or seller, the very first thing that you want to do is add the person. You can even add the other side. So say you're working with a buyer and you have the buyer's name and email and telephone number. You can even add the seller, which you don't have their email and telephone number. So it will auto-populate for you when you're working in the document. But you want to do this part first before you even open a document. Once you do that, then it's easier to fill in the autofill when you're working in a document. So let's just say, this one. You have the document. And now this is already signed, so it's not going to allow me to have, this would be highlighted, the white, right? And you would autofill it. And you can put in seller's name, you can put in buyer's name, you can do whatever else with the address and all that other stuff. So taking the time before you even, you start a dot loop, right? You have it as a buyer or seller, whatever you're going to do. And then you take the time to complete basically all of this details in here. The address, your APN. It's a little slow today. We have so who the agents are, right? You see all this? This is buyer seller, property address. You fill all this in, dot loop automatically knows to take this and start putting it into your documents. Make sense?
So maybe if you, just open a brand new loop.
The one that
Like you've never done anything with it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
We can do a test loop.
Yeah, let's do a test loop.
Yep. Okay, so you're gonna go here.
And does everyone know how to get out
We're
of
going
that
to
loop?
basics.
Does everyone even know how to get out of that loop?
Yeah, do you all know how to get on?
There's a couple agents that are brand new.
Okay.
Are you on, you're on dot loop?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you're gonna add a loop.
Okay.
Now this is whether you're working with a buyer or seller. You're gonna put the address in. Now that part is 1, 2, 3, Main Street,
How
test.
did you, okay, if you write test by it, then, because I've done it just with real addresses
Yeah.
before.
It starts to pick up addresses.
Yeah.
So,
What
So
starts
that's
to
okay
pick up
to do it
addresses?
that way.
what?
Starts to pick up addresses?
When you type in the box.
Google, it starts to pick up addresses from Google.
Oh, okay. got it.
Yeah. It's used, watch when I will put in Main Street. Hillsborough, North Carolina. North Carolina, so I don't want to pick any of those addresses. And even so, if you, this is my tip, I don't want to be too advanced because it sounds like there's a lot more new in here. So this is my tip, whenever there is another agent on the other side that has dot loop and they have already put stuff in here, it will auto-populate with their information. I don't want that. I want to create my own dot loop. And they say that the information can't be shared, but you know what, I'll just tell you what, I just want my own information out there. When we're changing documents to each other, I download what they send me and I upload it into my loop. So just be aware of that. I don't always pick up what it auto-populates, but that's just what I do.
I do the same. I don't create my own loop. I
Right.
don't share.
Yeah.
So if you click on one of those addresses, is that gonna be in somebody else's loop?
Not necessarily,
Uh-huh.
yeah, not necessarily, because this is Google Maps too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it could pull it up if it's an MLS.
Correct.
And that's what your buyer and seller, because then it'll load everything automatically for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on how you want to do it. It's not something that I do. It takes a little bit more time. Maybe you have to put in a little bit more information. But I know that my loop is secure because the only people that I'm going to add are the people that I'm going to add. And anything that, and I'll get to that eventually, anything that I share with them, it is attached and sent. Do not assume the other agent has .loop. That's what some agents even put into the MLS system. Don't send anything through .loop. I always send it through .loop because it keeps but you attach it. So whoever you're dealing with, you cannot, the lender, the title company, an inspector, you can't assume that they have .loop. So just get in the habit of hitting attach file to anything you email out of .loop. All right, so.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
You made a comment earlier that anything you get from the other agent, you download, and then you back upload it. When I found out, and this is just me and my 2 cents worth, whenever I was doing DocuSign, since we have to keep up with our documents, and I know the agency does also, then we're going to have to download it eventually anyway to a file. So.
Well, no, because Tina, when you're done with your .loop and you have all your documents in there, you send a note through Tina and you say, please review. And yes, so then what will happen in your file, you'll be able to see it, but Tina might not be able to see it. You'll have 2 addresses. Actually, I can show you that so the other agent that I have a contract with currently has .loop. And she has a different picture. This is how I tell the difference of the front of the house, and I ended up taking a picture off of MLS and put it in my .loop so I can distinguish between the 2. Now, do I know if Tina can see what's happening in this listing agent's file? I do not know. So anything that this agent sends me in this file, I download. It's a pain in the butt. Almost said it. And then I upload it into this one, right? I don't assume, because that's the thing is, I'm going to speak in terms of covering your ass. When you took your class, that's the thing they said to you. It's not if you get sued, it's when you get sued. And so don't ever worry about what the other agent is doing. Worry about what you have going on in your file and making sure that you have brought everything over into the file. I've even downloaded emails and then uploaded them into the file.
On that note, do you put up like a separate folder when you're collecting like evidence or emails? Like, can you add folders?
In some of the larger files, right, it depends on the transaction, because some files, it's just pretty cut and dry, right? Boop, 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 everyone's got, just the standard files. But when you got, say, the house on the lake, and you have boat docks and emails discussing how we need to transfer the boat dock, or if there's a flood zone and you're talking to an insurance company and the lender's sending you stuff and then the other agent and everyone's coordinating, heck yeah, CYA.
How do you do that on here? How do you add?
Just create a folder.
And then, okay, but you don't put anything from the purchase folder has got all the docs, so then you
No,
just.
I'll show you.
Okay.
So Test City, okay, so everyone, we're gonna start our .loop. All right, so Test City, and we'll put TN and 0001. Continue. See, I finally lost those addresses. Okay, so this is where you select a loop. And let's just do buying loop home. Everyone okay with that one? Continue. I upload a picture here if I have it. It's easy to do off that MLS if you need to do. Just pick a picture from the house, and it just helps you kind of distinguish what's going on with the loops. Okay? And then if you don't get the picture at the time, you can come back and do it later. All right. So, I'm gonna answer your question really quick. Add a folder. New folder, emails.
Okay. So that's how you organize it. You don't create a new folder. In general, you can leave it under the purchase folder, but then any.
So this has a
else that-
different folder, and you can add documents if you wanted to,
Okay.
and then you're right here. And, sometimes I'll change the names, so sometimes, when we have a lot of stuff going back and forth, I can even change this to the purchase folder. So this way Tina can find the documents.
Mhm.
Where did you find that folder?
It comes up automatically, as soon as I created the loop.
It's Samantha that, I'm gonna let you do it, because I'm hands-on.
Okay.
And then right here is where you
And-
add.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so not so much for listings, but for purchases, look at all these documents. Are you confused? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically, you have almost all
You
of the
now look
documents
at
that you
yourself,
need.
if you have not, who submitted an offer? Okay. So, your first offer, you're gonna look at this and you're like, I am never gonna get done, what the heck did I do? What did I sign up for? So take a deep breath, print out your MLS sheet, and let's go through the MLS sheet. So is there a co-broker? Nope, I'm doing this by myself. Base commission form? Yep, office requires that. Title Solutions, office requires it. Buyer rep agreement? Yep. Purchase agreement, eventually counter offer. Do I need that right now? No, because I'm submitting my offer. Confirmation to agency, yes, required. Disclaimer notice required. Importance of inspection required. Wire fraud warning, yep. COVID-19, comp agreement, eventually. Addendum to the purchase, nope, I don't need this right now. FHA, VA, possibly, but this guy's going conventional, so I don't need it. Amendment to the purchase and sale agreement, don't need it right now. Repair proposal, nope, don't need it right now. Maybe. Notification, nope. Repair amendment, nope. Sewer disposal system, you have the MLS sheet, and you're gonna look on it and see if it says septic. However, please remember, it is your due diligence to make sure that the agent on that side, don't rely on them, rely on yourself. So make sure you have checked that it is on a sewer system or a septic system. Don't assume what the agent has put into MLS is correct. But in this case, they're in a nice subdivision, so they don't have a septic. Closing date, don't really care about right now. Personal interest, that means if you have some type of relationship with the person that you're dealing with. And then, COVID addendum. I'm not gonna dive into that, but we don't need it right now. Purchase and timeline, if you've never put in an offer, this is a very good thing to print out and keep next to you as you work the transaction. And then this is regarding a septic system too, so I don't care right now. And the reason I'm showing you this is I just got rid of, 7, 10 files, and you archive them. You did not lose your files, they will always be in this dot loop, but now you're dealing with a much smaller number of files and you won't feel so overwhelmed. Okay, makes sense? That's my tip.
Did you archive 13?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay,
Yes, whatever it was a lot of them. But you have to, this all determines on what is the buyer, because we're working with a buyer. Are they going VA? Are they going FHA? Are they going conventional? What have you found out? Is it in a septic system? Do we need to research that information? So, and there is going to be a proposal at some point for repairs. There's going to be an amendment for that, but I don't need to deal with it right now. I'm just trying to get the offer off the table. So in order to see what I have archived, see this button right here? Show archive. They're all there.
Now I have a question. So is this your starting template for
all of, even beyond this one address?
Yeah, this is how I do it every time.
Okay, so every time,
Yeah.
you start with all of the forms every time?
Yeah, so it auto-populates. Tina does that for us every year when we get new contracts. As soon as the new forms come out in the first of the year,
Oh.
Tina uploads them and then puts the required documents. It's menopause, so you know, you get hot.
But to go a little further into her question,
Yeah.
I think what she's asking is, can you have your own specific documents that you throw into the loop every time?
Oh, yes, so I will tell you what, if you want, well, it's gonna auto-populate no matter what, right? So you can then, so let me use this as an example. I'll tell you what I do. So I have my own buyer's agreement, which I will show you. Sorry, I carved that baby. I don't need that one. And then I add document, and I go to templates. You can all set this up here, and there's my buyer agreement. I copy it over, so I archive the one that auto-populates, and this comes over. And since we're here, I'm just gonna give you this tip right now. This was given to me by an attorney in a class. If you're working with buyers or sellers, but specifically buyers, we all know that buyers go, I want a 5-acre ranch with chickens, cows, 2-bedroom, 3-bath house. And then what they buy is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo. Right? So, the language, any and all, any and all, any and all, and no properties. So that is my tip. Go ahead and copy it. It was given to me by an attorney in a class, and so I share it with y'all.
What are those lines, 17, 20?
17, basically 17 through 25.
Yeah.
25, okay, thank you.
I like that.
Yeah. It totally made sense when he said it. I said, oh my God, it's the truth. Because here you are looking for the 1-acre property for the person. They go on Zillow, whatever, they find something else. Or they even, how about a for sale by owner?
Yeah.
You didn't really cover that, other than it talks about down there. But here you don't cover it. And you go, now you're trying to work a deal with the for sale by owner. And this person can easily walk away from you and say, I'm gonna deal with them directly. Okay?
Is that the only change that you've made to the buyer?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not done. Oh, I don't have it in this one. All right, let me,
You had a couple of them, I see.
yeah. Give me a time to get there. Sorry. All right, I'll show you. All right, so here is my other little tip. I have 2 more that I have, but I like to take pictures. Everyone likes to see that happy smile in front of their face. I don't particularly use people's names when I tag them on a social media account, mostly because I'm dealing with a lot of police officers, and so, but this kind of covers me, allows me to have that disclaimer. So you guys all taking the picture now allows me to take it and put it on my Facebook as you guys were in the class today. But yeah, so I do that. And then I also have one about the $260. This year I've happened to deal with a lot, this year I haven't charged anyone $260. It just happens because of the clients that I'm dealing with. But if it is someone that I am charging the $260 for, see, this is why I didn't want a video, because I'm teaching bad stuff. I have a stipulation in here that says the $260 will be paid for by the buyer. However, I will try to negotiate that the sellers pay that $260. So I can find that later in that class, but let's just move on.
And the 260 is the cost of the photos?
Well, the $260 is the
our transaction?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But all of this year, I am not
Like
charged.
your buyer's rep agreement's gonna show like, 6% plus the 260. So, and usually that just gets passed through to either buyers paying for it, or if it's listing, the seller pays for that. But she's saying that sometimes she just basically waives it.
Yeah,
That's what
I
she
just
ends up
pay
paying
it.
She pays it.
Yeah, you can't waive it for the office. It's
Right.
charged. And so,
Someone's paying for it, buyer, seller.
yeah, it's just a gift that I give certain clients. You know, and it happens to be this year that no one's got charged it.
The one thing I have to say though that Ed says is that what you do for one person, you should do for all, just as far as like discrimination or anything, just because, but sometimes, you know, it's your family member, this, that, the other, but
A lot of times if it's the family member, police officer, firefighters, someone that works in the medical field, because they put their life out on the line, you know, for us.
I just use it, I use it as a, hey, I'm working for you and this is my gift to you. That's how I present it, because they're gonna sign the document. I have to pay it. See, it says buyer's agent. I had to cross it out and say buyer's agent. And down here, buyer's agent, Kathy LaCroix agrees to pay the $260. They signed it. I told them it is my gift to you for working with me.
the 260 is also like pre-printed in the
Yes, it
buyer's
is.
rep agreement.
Yeah, so you have to take it out of that too.
Do people have a problem with that, or no? Generally, no.
Yeah, it's
Other
just,
offices charge like 500, some
Yeah.
charge like
so
600.
you see it's taken out of here.
So I wrote a contract yesterday.
Yay.
And, but it's the first contract I've written since I've been at Exit. I've done all my before transactions through Transaction Desk. And I did not have them sign that paper.
Okay, you need to get it signed now.
I do need to get it signed
Okay.
now, but I'm just realizing.
this is how you handle that.
Dot Loop yesterday, and then I was like, you know, Dot Loop I'm not familiar with, and I know Transaction Desk so well, but I mean, obviously it's not gonna have Exit documents in there, so maybe I need to talk
Are
with
you talking
somebody
about
on
the
the
form, the
side.
base commission form?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as you have that the buyer's rep agreement signed, because that's gonna show 260, you're okay. As long as you have that one signed. for
I
the
have a
office.
buyer's rep agreement, but it doesn't have the 260 amount written in there.
Oh, okay, well then, it should have it in
No,
there.
the one that I had off of Trek.
Oh.
I didn't do it in Dot Loop,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I got into Dot Loop literally yesterday, and then I was like, this is not, I'm not familiar enough to be comfortable, so I just went straight to Transaction.
I mean, I don't know if you're comfortable at this point. It'd be kind of hard to go back and ask for the 260.
It definitely would.
Yeah, so just-
So what I would do is maybe say,
Sounds like I learned a $260 lesson
hey,
today.
this is what I would say, is my office managers did a audit of file as I turned it in.
Yeah.
These are the documents that I still need signed. This is my gift to you.
Totally, I was gonna say.
Make it,
somebody
you
use
need
that.
to make it sound, because
Yeah.
you're still paying it.
Yeah, yeah.
So make them understand, like, listen, I'm not gonna give you this big old glorious gift.
Yeah.
And I've even written in thank you cards. Hey, I'm so glad that I was able to give you that discount.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Remind them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
So, this video, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, yeah. And again, it's kind of like CYA, you're in your whole time.
Yeah.
Right? It's really about the client, but you always gotta worry about yourself. When is it gonna come back to me at some point from someone? So, okay.
Wait, can I ask a question
Yes,
about
you
where, okay, the exclusive buyer rep agreement that's supposed to have the 260 auto-populated is in there in line like 39. Is that the only place that it talks about the 260?
Correct, except for in special steps. Oh, well, let me go find it. I wasn't gonna find it, but I will find it.
And I misread this to think this was like a for sale by owner situation, because the wording in this is if a fee is not offered or paid to broker, as could occur, for example, in the purchase of an unlisted property, client agrees to pay broker a total of 260.
Plus the commission, so like.
Plus the commission.
Yeah, if it's for sale by owner and you're helping your client with that and the for sale by owner is not paying a commission,
yeah,
that form says that your buyer's gonna pay you the commission.
But where
So
else
they
is
need
it
to
gonna
understand
tell
that.
my buyer that my buyer's paying 260?
All right, let me show you what I put in special
When
steps.
they sign that form, it's gonna show that they're paying 260 plus.
Hold on, let me find it.
The 6%.
I don't think I made a mistake, but I explained that clause as being a for sale by owner situation.
Okay.
Because that's how I read it.
Yeah. No, so truthfully, the way that contract reads, let's say you are under contract for the home and they're only paying 2.5%, but you wrote 3% plus and the 260, your buyer technically should pay that extra 0.5% to you, to the office. you have to be like hardcore, force your buyer, I mean, who does that? But that's how that contract reads, you know, they're supposed to pay 3% if the co-op, because like, it could be a new construction, they're only paying 1%, but you wrote that your buyer's rep agreement has 3% plus 260. Technically, your buyer should be paying that extra 2% to you. Again, most likely you're gonna say, you'd probably come to myself or Ed or somebody, and we're gonna just reduce the commission, because, you know, it's gonna be a real bad feeling, you know, you're helping to.
And there is a form that if you are reducing the commission from 3%, let's say 2.5%, that is a form that you fill out and submit to Ed to sign off on.
Okay.
Do we need to do
I
that
have it in here.
anytime we reduce commission?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and
On
has
buyer
initial
or
offer.
seller.
Okay, I have it, here we go.
Either one.
You can send it to me.
Here's the language that buyers agreed to pay base
Oh,
commission.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this was a different, to the broker firm at closing. The buyer agrees to allow the broker to negotiate the fees paid by the seller and or seller's agent for the payment which is fully disclosed to the clients. So you can add that language in there. Don't use the 359, this was for somewhere else. But basically, it's in 3 spots. It's in this is for the buyer. It's in the buyer's agreement on the first page where it'll say the 3%, it'll be the 260. It'll be in special stipulations of the buyer's agreement. And what you're basically telling them is, if the seller has paid any closing costs for you, that 260 will come out of those closing costs, potentially. That's what you're trying to say to them. And then you also have them sign, this is all for the buyers, not for the sellers, just keep that in mind. You also have the base commission form fee that Exit has. So you have it in 3 spots then at that point. Right, makes sense? Everyone got it?
Where are those 3 spots?
In the buyer's rep agreement, the first page, where it
Okay.
says 3% and the 260, the $260. That first page right here. This will say 359.
Okay, so that's the first place.
It's here, it would be here, and then 3%. Okay? So, okay, I can't walk. It would be there. 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 It'll be in special steps if you put it in there, and it'll be in the base commission form. All right, I'm going to move on because I think I've confused a lot of people on that. All right? All right. So now let's talk about, all right, let me go back to. So you have added the people to your loop, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You have added all of your information in the detail section. Okay? Am I making sense? Okay? You put in the property address. You can put in your commission splits. It'll actually track what you're doing, your contract dates, your offer dates, all that other stuff. You can list all of this information here. And then you added the people. And when I say add the people, I would suggest that you add, if you're going to send anything to a title company, I put them down there, the other agent, the seller's information, and the buyer's information. Because as you open a document, let me just add a person.
I also add the lender too.
Yeah. Whatever you're going to be sending documents to, add them.
Yes.
Oh, yep. This is how it will auto-populate for you. And like I said, you do not have to fill in their telephone. So if you have the seller, you don't have to put in their email. You won't have it. You're working with the buyer. And so this will at least allow it to auto-populate when you finally get up to your purchase and sale agreement for your offer. And, whoa, why is this? Oh, that's why. Why are those small fields? Wrong one. Did I archive the purchase and sale?
No, it's right
I
there.
think I did.
No, there it is.
Yeah, it's right 4-1.
I got it. All right, so it's already asking me. If I had put in the seller's information, it would auto-populate because I put it down below. You look confused.
No, I'm just trying to follow along.
Okay, so I put it down here. Whoops, not there. I'm in the loop. I filled all of this information out as much as I could. So you printed the MLS sheet, you've gone to tax records. Does everyone know how to do that? Okay. Go to tax records, you fill out all, you figure out who the sellers are, unless they've had some kind of cheat sheet. A lot of agents put that in there now because it could be in a trust, it could be in something else. So you have those two pieces of paper in front of you. I have MLS, I have everything that I've gotten out from the tax records, and or if the agent's given me information. Because you're gonna have the agent information on there, you're gonna have the agent broker information. So you're able to fill out the whole document completely. Let me go to one that I just did last night so I can show you. All right, there's a good one to show you. This agent has dot loop. His picture is different than mine, just a little bit. This is mine, and this is his.
So are those two different loops?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the seller's loop, and then she's got the buyer's loop.
Now, you created those two, or
No.
you just added them, and you added?
I did not create this at all.
That came from the seller's agent.
Okay, so you just added it to your loop?
Nope.
No, you just,
Because he's now shared documents with me,
okay.
I have access to it.
So it just pops up by
Oh,
itself?
it's just, because the address is matched?
Correct.
Oh. okay.
Nope, because he's shared documents specifically with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why, so yesterday, if I were to open this, you would have only seen this. You would have had this and whatever else I had going on. You would not have seen this. He shared them to me this morning, and I said, I'm teaching, I'll look at it later. Okay? So that's why, and if we open it, you'll see he's only had the 3 documents that he's shared with me.
Now, would you want to merge those?
I'm going to download,
Okay, and then,
I'm gonna upload.
okay.
That's what I do. I do the
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah.
I cannot assume Tina has access to that,
Okay.
right? Everything that he's gonna send me. So you just go here, I don't wanna do it because I don't wanna open these yet. It'll
Yeah.
show that I opened it. You click download, it downloads to your hard drive, and then I get out of here, and I open this one, and then I add documents,
Okay.
okay? All right. So, let me, the sad part is all of this has been signed, so it won't auto-populate a lot of stuff, but let me at least open it, so this way you can see what a completed offer is. Let me tell you this tip real quick, and I'll show you. If you notice, I have things in order. I do not want them signing the purchase and sale agreement first.
Right.
I want them signing this. And then what I call the CYA documents until you get down here. This is all CYA, except for that, until you get to here. This is now starting to talk about the property.
Show them how you put them in order.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
so how, all right, let me go back, let me do this, let me open this other loop. So this way I don't have to keep going back and forth.
So did you change other documents too? Like, should we reshuffle these?
So I'm gonna show you real quick. So if you also notice all these numbers, most people will sign on the phone. And how I figured this out is I had someone calling me and saying, or when we were talking, I go over all the documents with it, whoever I'm talking to. Whenever they're signing, I do not assume that they know what they're looking at, and again, it's my own CYA. Hey, ready to sign, open your phone, open your computer, let's talk about it. So they are on the phone, and I had the person saying to me, is that 304? And I thought to myself, oh my God, he doesn't even know what he's signing, right?
Yes.
So now what I do is I open, I'm gonna use just this easy one. Autofill. This should have didn't put my name down here, but I don't think I put that I was selling it. So there's nothing to fill in the disclaimer form, right? This is the biggest CYA document there is. The person is just gonna sign it. So on this form, if I had to type something in here, right, and I'm gonna add the person's signature. So Marcy's gonna sign this one for me. Sign a field, I'm gonna assign it to Marcy, whoever you're assigning it to. I save it, I don't save and share it yet. And what I do is how I know that I have filled the document out completely is I change the name. Yes, right? Rename it. I get rid of whatever the name of the number. And I use it like that. Now they'll say something like, it says something like disclaimer. Yep, that's it.
So they don't see the full title, they just see like
It's
our.
on the phone. Yeah, the guy goes, he goes, is that 304? Yeah, that's 304. Now I'm embarrassed, right? He didn't even know what he's signing. Let's go buy a $500,000 house, but I don't even know what you're signing. And people just click, right? So anyway, it's just my little thing too. It's my little cheat sheet. Rename it. I now don't have to go look at that one again, right? I filled it out. It's got signatures in there. It's done. And then I can move on to the next one, right? And so you just kind of do the same thing. I would kind of go here. I would, see it's trying to auto-populate for me because I put in the names. Okay, let it do it. 123 Main Street, any city. This should have done it too, but I didn't fill out that other part. Okay, if I would have, it would have auto-populated. You have the other agency that you can do if you know it. I'm designated agent. I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna add my signature. Add signature. Marcy signing up here. Marcy. Once you sign a document, here's a little trick. So if I had forgot to fill this out in the bottom, once I sign this, it will ask me to get rid of my signature. So you can't change a document once you signed it or once a party signed it. So I'm going to add my signature. And I'm going to sign it now. Adopt and sign. See, now watch. I want to type here. Oh, it allows you to do it? Oh.
Once you exit out of it, it does it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just did there. So now I've added everything that I need to add. If I had the other side and I needed to do that, I would do that. And then I save it. I go back and I rename it. Rename. It's a little bit more work, but I will tell you, you now know what you've done and you don't have to open, because how many of you have like re-clicked? Did I fill that out? Did I fill that out?
Yes.
Right? So now I know. Okay. So let's just say I have filled all of them out and I'm now ready to organize it to send it to whoever's going to sign. The last stuff that they should sign is the actual purchase and sale. It really should be one of the last things that they sign, and any addendums or attachments. And I mean, just think about it. If it's 10 minutes later, you could have a buyer saying, well, I didn't know anything about that. I just wanted to put the purchase in the offer. So it's just kind of protecting yourself. All right, so how you move a document, you see this little, how it changed, right? There's my finger, and it changed. You click and hold, and you drag it. Now, if you drag on top of it, it'll ask you to delete, so you kind of just gotta hover in between. And you can move whatever you need to. However, I want them to sign that last. So. This comp agreement, let me just suggest something to you. Don't submit your offer with the comp agreement. It's an offer. It's not binding. once you go binding, once you have an agreement, then, now I have a lot of agents because of the, reducing of commission that's taking place. A lot of agents kind of panic. Well, you did see, I mean, I got a text message thread from this one lady, you did see the prices reduced. Yeah, the price, I got it. I said, go binding, get the offer to the seller, and we'll worry about it. Well, I just want to make sure, I got it, it's reduced, I see it, it's 2.5 in MLS, I'm good. Right? She's panicked because she thinks she's going to get something like 3%. But the thing about it is, make it about the client, don't make it about you. You'll get paid when you get paid. Just send the offer over, get the deal accepted, work out the details, and then send your commission over. And if the agent's having a heyday about it, or the transaction coordinator, that I'm like, okay, I'll just sign it, please. You know, I'm just trying to make sure the deal happens first and make it about the client.
Well, isn't the commission in that same deal, same document that they have to sign?
That's
It's
for
in
the buyer.
purchase agreement.
No.
That, okay, it's just in the buyer's agreement?
The buyer's
Percentage, I'm just talking
Yeah.
about the commission.
I mean, does it say in the purchase and sale agreement that yes, both parties agree to pay brokerages? Yes.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have the percentage?
Doesn't have a percentage. So, I will tell you another thing, let me go back to this other dot loop that I did last night. So, let me go and show you this. Down here, I will show you, it's not filled out. He had it listed in MLS, so he has it started. And you can see I just put in the email. It's not signed, it's signed by him. I submitted this offer last night, I haven't signed it. I don't plan on signing it until I have a deal. So I never sent it to him. I just filled it out, kept it in there. And if you notice, it's the very last document too. Or
So you
close.
just kind of have it ready to go
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
you can,
I want a binding agreement. I'm making it about the client, not about me.
but you're prepared.
Do you know that I don't even, sometimes, I don't even do this until we get past inspection and appraisal. Yeah. I'm gonna, be honest.
Why?
I feel it's kind of bad karma.
Okay.
I want to make the deal about the person I'm working for.
It's all about your client, period. It's not about your pocket. Yeah.
Now, I've had agents that are just, you know, I need it. I'm like, oh my God, I will fill it out, you know? Like, wow.
There's so many agents like that. What
Yeah.
is that?
So this is what I do. So you can see, these are the forms that I have not filled out yet down here. This is the data collection, that's for the American warranty. I don't even know if it's been accepted. I don't know if the buyers or the seller's gonna pay for it or not. Did I put it in my offer? I did. So I don't worry about that yet. I don't fill out this out. This is kind of done about a week or two before closing because you need to get it to a title company to make sure that it gets paid. So I don't worry about that. The comp agreement is last. Whenever I go to submit an offer, I told you I've printed the MLS sheet because I'm going on what the agent has. I print it and I upload it in my loop. If I'm the listing agent, I do the same thing. And you see how I date it? Because as a listing agent, as it goes active to under contract or active to not showing anymore, or I had a slight change because, hey, I found out that it's an electric oven and I had it as gas. Whenever I make a change, I download the new MLS sheet, whatever I changed, and I put it in the loop.
And date it.
Yeah, it's just the best way to, because I started putting MLS sheet, and I'm like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I date it the day that I printed it, so this way I know, and it covers my butt,
I
right?
didn't have the buyer's initial
Nah.
being on my list.
There's no reason, because there's all that private information that's on there too. And so I don't necessarily want them to see that, right? Because who are they gonna hold accountable at that point? So, but at least I have it in there.
Okay.
Right? I have it in there, but I download emails. I can show you an email transaction. This buyer was asking a lot of questions, and I thought, I answered him. We were professional. He's like, oh, thank you, great for the information. And my little bug goes, could I be sued? Yep, okay, I'll print this. PDF and upload it. And then this is his offer instructions. He had that in there too. So I put it in there as well, because I have taken my information off of here. So. Make sense? That's in that one. Let's go back to ours. All right, so let's see. Buyer's age agreement, base commission form, that goes there. Confirmation of agency. Oh, Tina needs this listing checklist, so that's why it's up on the top, so Tina can get it. I keep it up on top. Disclosure for Title Solutions. This is going down in the bottom because eventually I'll be dealing with the American Preferred Warranty, or not dealing it if they didn't agree to it. Disclaimer notice, wire fraud, right? We're just talking about all these CYA stuff. And then importance of inspections. I have them sign this before they sign the disclosures. So we're talking about a buyer too still. We've downloaded the property disclosures. Let's go back to this loop. So I have downloaded this document because the agent had it uploaded, and he had this, and he had this and this. So my CYAs, well, this is my base, right? We're going to talk about money here, right? But you need to have that started before you do any of this, because you shouldn't even have this before you show the property. Okay? So you have all this. I have them sign this form with the yes or no checked. Survey, land survey, they say land survey. Radon inspection and home inspection. So this is signed before they sign the property disclosures. I will tell you something else. If you are working with a complete stranger and you get a gut, here's a gut, have them initial every single page of that and then sign the last page. Because they should be looking at it. Again, most of them are doing it on there. So why you're doing that is because if there is something on the property, because all those people do is check yes and no's when you have a listing form. Those people are just checking yes and no's, and we're not supposed to tell them how to fill that out. And what do they always do? What does it mean for PUD? Plan Unit Development. I don't know what that means. Fill it out the best you can. Right? So if you're a listing agent, that's going to be your answer. Fill it out the best you can. Well, we had a leak a year ago, but we fixed it. Put that down. Fill it out the best you can. Right? Because, again, you know it, you have to disclose it. You're relying on the seller to fill it out correctly. Do the best you can. But if you got a gut feeling with a buyer, it's a complete stranger to you, you never worked with them, not a referral by someone. I mean, even the referrals can be iffy, right? Have them initial every single page, sign the last page. The CC&Rs, I had them initial it. There's no place to sign on it, but I wanted to let them know that they got a copy of it.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't have them initial every page, I just had them initial the last page. Sub-sewage. So this is a form you actually have to sign by the state, and then these were the permit and a certificate of completion of the permit. I had them initial these pages. You know why? She wants to put a garage on that property.
Or a pool.
And so there's leach lines. I mean, we saw a whole bunch of stuff. We walked the property yesterday. So guess what? They're initialing every page. Because when they find out, or if they find out they ain't getting that garage on there, they knew. I gave it to them. And I gave them copies with them initialing it. And then here's finally their offer. And so when you submit your offer, you should be we're kind of stepping out of the heyday where it's like, oh my God, I'm going to submit an offer. How soon do we need it? And do you have other offers? I mean, that's your panic, right? When you're working before. But thankfully, we're kind of stepping out of that. So I called him. Luckily, he answered. Hey, looks like we're going to be working on an offer. Are the sellers looking for anything specific? You know, timeline-wise, just casual. And I shut up and I let him talk. And he was a good talker. So I knew they wanted a temporary occupancy agreement of 2 to 3 days. Oh, yay. And they would like 30 days. So my lender, I called the lender first. Hey, I'm trying to make a strong offer. I'd like to close less than 30. She goes, I can close by the end of the month. No one's getting loans right now. I said, thank you so much. So when I called him, I was gonna use that as my leverage. Hey, we can close, it's the 10th of August and we can close by the 31st. And he's like, oh, well, they really need 30 days? Okay, that's great. So I wrote it for 30 days. Actually, I wrote it for 27, the 30th day as a temporary occupancy agreement for 3 days. And to make it sound strong, we give the 3 days to him for free. Okay, so call the other agent. This business is a business of people. You have emotional buyers and sellers, and you have another agent. And you hope the other agent is in the same place that you're at, working for the client. But it's not always the case. But you remain professional. You know, have I hung up the phone and cursed up a bunch? Oh, yeah. But, Heather knows I vented. Find someone you can vent with, that you can go to coffee with, that you have someone just bounce stuff off of, because you will need it, right? But don't have it come back to the person, right? And try not to be that way with the agent. And I'll tell you an example.
Always be professional.
Yeah, so I had this agent who, she's like, oh, you're so cool, blah, 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 my husband's a cop too, blah, blah, blah. And so I thought we had a good rapport. So I make an offhanded joke about, she's like, oh, well, hurry up and get by and see the house because this, she's gonna sell it to Mark Spain or something like that. So bring me an offer, bring me an offer, bring me an offer. So I get to the house, we show up literally 5 minutes early, and she's texting me, she goes, why are you in the house? And I didn't see the text because I'm walking around the house with the client. And you would think if it was that dire of an emergency, she would have picked up the phone and called at me, but whatever. So we leave the house and I look at my phone and she's blowing it up with text messages. And so I called her, I'm like, hey Tina, what's going on?
There's something that could be anybody.
Right?
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, you're not supposed to be in the house. And I go, well, we showed up a little early because we're gonna go see this other one, but you said it was a go and show. Well, no, she's there. And I go, well, what do you mean she's there? You told, and she goes, well, we're taking it out MLS. And I go, it was in MLS, I printed it this morning. And when I set the appointment up, you were like, oh, well, she's mad, she's upset. Okay, why is she upset? Well, you were there early. It says 1:15. I'm like, oh my God, all right, we got there a few minutes early. I thought it was a go and show, my apologies. Yeah. And I go, you know how it goes, buyers and sellers are too. And then she proceeds to chastise me that I'm unprofessional. Right? And so what I can do is, all I can do is eat it. Because I did something I shouldn't have done. I did it, right? Because I thought we had a good relationship, right? So it's a learning lesson, right? Mm-hmm. Here she is all buddy with me, sell the house, sell the house. And then the last thing that she finally asked me is, she goes, are they interested? Yeah, no, they're not. So,
and even if they were,
I'll tell you tomorrow.
And then the funny part about this story is, I know someone that lives in this neighborhood, and we happen to, she says something along the line, oh, did you go see that house? I did. Actually, we were in there. That's kind of funny. I go, it needs a lot of work, and she goes, oh yeah, I think she's a porn star. And I had to do everything in my power just to go. And I go, I wouldn't be surprised. Because now this is just a friend. Do I want to be a professional with a friend? No, I don't. So, all right. So there's my story. You're constantly learning. You constantly fall over yourself. I just did it this week. It happens, but just try to stay as professional as you can. And there is the saying. We all say it as agents. Buyers are liars, sellers are too. And it's a little rhyme, And it's a joke, but whatever. She needed to chastise me, whatever. So I got my hand slapped, and I just had I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I was in early. I'm so sorry. I thought it was. My apologies to you. My apologies to them. Please let them know. And by the way, we're not buying a house. All right, so what else can I show you? Oh,
I do have a question about, I've seen some of those that say go and show. I mean, and I'm so new, I don't know like all the etiquette and all that, but it say if you do have an appointment, but it's go and show, is it socially acceptable to go in a little earlier?
well, so this is what I would tell you to do, is the good thing about the go and shows is you can quickly change it on your app and or call and say, we're here a little early, we'd like to get in now, and then they just resend their appointment to you.
Okay.
So this way, if they have so what happened was, she has a Century Lock, so she knew the exact time I was in, the agent did. And she kept telling me, well, they know you're in. And I go, how does she know? I said, she must have seen by the Ring doorbell. She goes, no, that's disconnected. She saw by the Century Lock. And I'm like, and so I know this agent's lying to me too, right? I know she can't see by the Century Lock, but okay, whatever. I'm just trying to go with it and trying to understand the craziness of why, if it was so dire, I have 5 text messages while I'm touring the house. Why didn't you pick up the phone and call me and say, get out of the house, it's gonna explode. Okay, we're out. Right? She didn't call me, and I don't see it. I'm locking up the din, and then I have to look at my phone and go, oh, I got a bunch of text, and I'm walking down, and I'm like, hey, Tina, what's up? Okay? The whole thing was bizarre. And then later that evening, talking to a friend in that subdivision, and she's like, oh, did you go by? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And they weren't interested. And she goes, oh, they left the dogs in. She was out of town, my son. And the whole thing was like, okay, I got it. Because even at one point in the attic, we opened the attic to see the storage space. And there's these huge black feathers. It actually took me by surprise at first. I opened the door and I was like, whoa, what's that? And then I realized, I'm like, we're trying to find a light, we get our phone, and I'm like, oh, they're black feathers and white feathers. So later that night, it all came, it was like, ooh, rushing. I was like this, I got it. Made me feel a little validated because I was sitting there feeling remorseful at the time, walking to my car and thinking, what the heck just happened? So, oops. All right.
Well, I just have a question. So, just because you were there a little bit early, what were you not supposed to see at that time?
Who the heck knows? Well, she was also telling me that it's off of MLS, and I said, Tina, I printed this morning. I will send you a picture of the day. It has the date on it.
The appointment was confirmed and never canceled.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
The appointment was confirmed on Saturday. And that's when she's like, sell it, she's gonna sell it to Mark Spain. Yeah. She can't hold 2 mortgages anymore. Hurry up, take your buyers by. Yeah, so I don't know what happened in between that time. Maybe a lot of drinking, maybe a lot of drugs, I don't really know.
Probably all of it.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. And she could have upset the seller and the seller no longer.
Correct. So my assumption is the seller saw the ring, saw us in, had the meltdown, she didn't call me, she's texting, she's trying to make it all good. And then me just saying that little comment, I'm like, Tina, it's all good, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 but what they say? She's like, well, she's gonna, turn it over to Mark Spain. I took it out today. Tina, it wasn't out. It was not out when I'm printing everything. And she's like, well, it's out now. It's out now. And I'm like, okay, all right.
And if you booked it like through showing time or something and she took it off, you would have got a cancellation.
Yes, right? Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't off.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to the next house, guess what showed up on my phone?
Yeah.
The cancellation.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was interesting, but learned from my lesson. I thought I had a relationship with her.
Never assumed.
Yeah. And so, was I unprofessional? I was.
Well, and it's tricky too. Sometimes you do have a relationship with that other agent, and you have to be really careful what you say, because you may just accidentally, just mention, oh yeah, they're going through a divorce or something. Oh, I should have said that, because that can jeopardize somebody's position in a negotiation.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you are kind of friendly with another agent, or they get really talkative, and you get talkative, sometimes things can slip that.
Well, you heard I didn't want to mention her name, and I let it slip.
Right. So just in
I'm trying to be professional, not mention her name, and I let it slip. And so it's just a learning lesson. Do I make mistakes? I do. I'm not perfect. No one is, and I hope none of you all are too. And you just, learn from someone else. And that's why you teach and why you talk and why you go to lunch with people, because there's things that you can do and learn. Like that was here I thought I had this cool, we got another deal going together. I thought we're in a good spot. And then when she's melting down, I was like, well, she's ticked that she's losing the listing.
Right.
And she's kind of taking it out on me.
Yeah, she's reacting to you.
Right? And I'm like, well, buyer's liar, seller's do. And that's just a saying that we all kind of say to each other. Or not to each other, but in the industry, you can joke about it. Well, she won't have it in that day. I think that's unprofessional. Yep, you're right.
Well, one thing
I'm eating crow.
So is your meltdown. One thing I like about what you said is when you're talking to another realtor, you ask your question and you just listen.
Shut up.
Say nothing more. Let them be the one to fly off at the tongue.
And some agents are funny. They'll be like, well, we're looking for a full price offer. It's a good one. Yeah, I can understand that. Anything else? Yeah. You laugh along with it. And just keep asking.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Now I'm going to go down here. All right. So we got how you organize, my little tip on filling it out and then changing the name. So this way, now let me teach you if you're going to submit multiple offers, or if you submit more than one offer. So in the case of this offer, so say they countered and we are countering back. You are allowed to make changes to this down here. Marcy and Brian have already signed this right here. You can make changes to this document, but once you do, your offer one is gone.
Gone. Never to be seen again.
Never, as Hope just said, never to be seen again. So here's where you're going to cover your badonk-a-donk. You are going to go back here to your first offer, and you are going to make a copy as a flat document with signatures preserved to a loop to, oh, I have to be careful here. This is mine.
Oh, throw it in your test.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you, Hope.
Yeah, that way you won't get messed up.
See how I put the emails? It asks me where it wants to put it.
Now, if you don't do this, for example.
Oh, I've had people do this.
You could get it from an email that you may have sent through.
But if you send it through Doc Loop, you have to ask the agent at this point then. Hey, by the way, I need a copy of that. So don't embarrass yourself. And, yeah.
You can't find it in your sends?
No.
Your email sends?
No, because you're sending it to them through Doc Loop.
Right, okay, because it's not going through your
Yeah.
email.
Yeah, I don't download it. I send it through here because it tracks everything. It even tracks when they open it.
So you wouldn't write up a new offer?
Hold on.
Okay,
Haven't
sorry.
got there yet.
Sorry.
So I put it in this test folder, but really it should be in that other folder, right? I'm only doing this for example purposes. So let's pretend it's in that other folder. So I have now saved this, copied this. It should be up here. No, where did it go? In your offer. I am now going to rename this one as offer number 1. Now you go back to the other offer, right? If it was in this folder, I just open it. I don't have to retype everything. Yay! I don't have to retype it.
So that just keeps a copy of what it was, and then you go forward and change the
The other
original
one,
one.
and then make that offer too, or whatever you want to do. Last, best and final, because in this situation, you're most likely going to be doing it because they've all called for best and final. Because if you're countering, you're going to have the counter sheet that you're using. Okay? So make a copy, when in doubt, whenever you're gonna change something, make a copy of it, put it back in the file. This way you don't have to retype everything. And this happened because an agent called me, asked me a bunch of questions, and I was like, oh Lord, girl. You need to find all those other stuff, because it was a property far out, the guy threatened to sue, there was even a gun involved at one point, and like all just kind of craziness. And I was like, you need to find all your stuff and make sure it's in the file.
Kathy, I just learned something.
Yeah.
So, because it boggles my mind that once something's sent through there, you can't see it, so I Googled it.
You find it?
I Googled it.
Where is it?
So, if you go up to your top.
Yep.
Go to activity log.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of that loop.
In
Hold
that
on.
loop.
Let me go here then.
Go somewhere where you've sent something.
All right, here we go, activity log.
Activity log.
Uh-huh.
Scroll down, pick something that you think you've sent, like your rep agreement down there at the bottom of August 11th. Click, boom.
It was in a PDF too, and with the sign?
There it is.
Okay, so then you can, let's see, file and save?
Probably download.
You would have to download it, yeah. You have to download it and then upload it, and I put
But
it
at
in
least
your
it's
name.
not gone forever.
Yeah, so that's the thing about the activity log. That's why I do send everything
tracks
through here.
everything.
It tracks everything. I can see when stuff is opened. So see all this morning I've opened? Let's see when Matt opened it. Marcy's been reviewing stuff at night. So Marcy's even opened stuff. And Matt opened stuff when I sent the offer over. Okay?
Now, let me ask you this,
Yeah.
in your opinion, Kathy, in the note page, because I don't know if you guys know that you can send notes through Doc.
Yeah, right here. So right here. This is notes. So this is, I'm
And
gonna
it
send.
tracks that and saves it forever.
Yes. And they're also like, okay, let's see, Marcy, I think.
Like, it's like an instant message almost.
So what I do is
Send
when
yourself a note.
I finally get done and I have all the documents uploaded, you need to tell Tina at some point. You don't want to send her a whole bunch of documents. So I go, hey Tina, hi Tina, this file is almost complete. Please review. Oops, if I can spell correctly. How come you can't type when everyone's watching you?
Yeah, right.
Thanks. And then she gets this little note, and then she'll send one back. Hey, I reviewed everything. So Matt sent this to me this morning when I said, hey, or no, he didn't. And then this is Marcy's and stuff when, hey, reading for signature third time to sign. There was a big problem trying to sign stuff last night. Technology's not always the best. I had one person, sitting in front of me, one person away, and so we had to kind of do it a couple times, but. And then I always get rid of this enter to send, because what happens here is, oh, did I send that to Tina? And Marcy, oh, I did. See, Marcy's like, what?
Just send her a little,
Yeah, so, so I unclick this because what happens is you can go test, and you hit enter to go to the next line, and it sends. And so I'm like halfway sentence, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I just unclick this.
I like that, okay.
Yeah, because that,
You just talk.
yeah, I go like that, and I go, oh man, I didn't want to do that. So anyway.
I've done that so many times.
Yeah, I have too. It all happens.
You show them the shortcut too for submit for review, once all
Oh,
your
up here?
documents are started. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them are completed. You can
I don't do this, I do it this way.
It does the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's just easier because it sends the folder to her.
The folder?
Yeah.
Does that mean it goes to Tina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right, then I'm going to go down here and show you one other thing too. So let's go back to this test any city, and let me show you. This one. All right. Let's say this wasn't here. And I need to type it in. See how that auto-populated? Oh, I'm gonna go back. I can see everyone taking notes. All right, so I'm gonna fill out this form right now, right? And I'm gonna start to type. It auto-populated for me. The reason it did that is because I have created little shortcuts. And I'm gonna tell you where you do that. So, and that would be the same thing, like say this wasn't here. Exit. See, it's already populating it for me. You click on it and it'll fill it in for you. So it's the same thing here. 111, whoops, 111, can't type when people are watching. Maple Row, it popped up for me. So let me show where you do that at. In the whole loop, you go to templates, and you go down to the bottom. All right, yeah, let me, in clauses. So these are my automatic clauses. Exit Real Estate Solutions, Maple Row address, that any and all, my name. This one can be deleted because she's not there anymore. You can do this if you use a specific title company every time. You can add, so you just put a new clause and you type your clause. So let's say,
So you're just able to copy and paste it is what you're doing?
no, you don't copy. It as you start to type in whatever document, it auto-populates. So like when you're typing your name in the very bottom of whatever form, right? You start typing your name and it comes up, do you want to finish this? Kathy LaCroix, hit enter, it does.
That's so great.
Yeah. Okay?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because all of
So
those
it's-
forms you're always.
So you're gonna go, you go to your,
Even like designated agent, you're like.
You'll create a drop down.
whatever word or thing that you do, so let me go back, I'll show you where it's at. You go to the exit, to your dot loop, not to any of your loops. You're gonna go to templates. You're gonna scroll down to the bottom, and it's gonna do your tab clauses.
That's cool.
I love that.
This task thing, that's in every loop too, and Tina usually checks them off, but if you needed to specifically remind yourself of something that you're constantly forgetting, you can create a task too. But I don't use that. If anything, I would tell you to print out that sheet, that track, listing or buyer, and make sure you fill in dates as soon as you have a binding contract. That's that TREC form that they have.
Do you ever use the personality profiles
No.
section? What is that for? You can just talk about people.
Dispersonality.
Like, this lady's a bee.
Okay, we need that file. Heather, can you put that on the list? We need.
Just me.
Right.
It's not bad if it's just a bee.
Yes, it can't be in the loop though, because at some point it would get audited.
Right.
What is PS, porn star? I mean, can I put that?
Public servant.
How on earth,
You can play with
right? You're like, why is there feathers in the attic? And then that night I was like, oh, I know there's feathers in the attic. I gotcha. Anyway.
It didn't have the ceiling hanging things for you to add on to it.
There were,
poles, freestanding poles.
Yeah,
I showed that are not supporting. Like,
We're on video.
Anyway, so, and then you can have your own personal documents. You can see I have all my, my buyer rep. And what I do is basically every year, Tina will upload all the new documents that TREC has done for the year. Or, are you doing it?
Not yet, no.
Not yet, okay. Just wait, you're gonna. And so when that happens, you can create your own forms, and then, you put, it's your personal one. So then you can make templates for listing appointments or for buyers, whatever you want to do. Fill it out almost all the way, so this way all you have to do is then drop and, save, make a copy, move it to a dot loop.
Sweet.
Yeah, you have less to do.
So if you start a loop, are you able to delete that loop?
Nope, you can never delete
It's
anything
there
that was started.
forever.
So okay, let me tell you, here's my other tricks. So here's a referral. I put in the address of the referral. I put, everything that I can put in there. And this way when Tina gets all the stuff that comes in from the agent in Prescott, Tina knows where it's at, what file it's going into. And then if a deal falls through, so this is the listing agents of Nottingham. See, the picture is different? This is my loop. See, it's the same house, different picture. Don't know why it's blue, but whatever. That's the house. And then whatever documents are in here, I've copied over here.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's see, deal fall through. All right. Yes. So this is a transaction that happened, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think this lady's going to sue this agent. This lady has a lot of money, and she is not happy that she lost this house at all. And so just a couple of days ago, I got a text message, and she wanted me the timeline of when we submitted our offer and when we received the lady's text message that they took another offer. And so you will see I have a lot of documents in this folder. And I did it because
Just in case.
I don't know what's going to happen. And then you see my message attachments because I just put everything that I could in there. She's bought another house, but she has a lot of money. She has a lot of people that work for her, and she's giving stuff to her attorneys. Now, I don't know what will happen with me, but I have all of the text messages and I have everything that happened with the deal.
What role were you in?
I'm the buyer.
You have the buyers? Okay.
We submitted an offer.
Yeah.
And I gave like 72 hours on our offer. Now, why I did that was because she was getting back on a plane to fly back to California. And it was, by the time we signed everything, it was about 9 something our time. So when I emailed the agent and said, hey, I have submitted the offer to you, I've added additional time because of the late hour. We can pick up tomorrow. So that's basically,
It's reasonable.
13, 14 hours already. And I got a text message back right away that said, my seller has allowed me to verbally counter at this price and this close date. And so I answered her back and said, oh, that's fine, write it up. Never accept a verbal, I'll tell you that story. Here's another learning lesson. Write it up so I can present it. That sounds great. And just as an FYI, the reason we're asking for this specific close date, so we wrote this in May. Yeah. And we asked for a July 1st close date. And this lady wanted to move some assets around. Listen, it's like, she drives a Bugatti. Okay? She's got a lot of money. So, I didn't either. I had no idea. Heather had to tell me. I was like, that's a Bugatti. When she told me, I was like, okay, do you want coffee with that? I didn't know what she was talking about. I had no idea. But in any case, she makes a lot of money. So, I said, let me explain that close date is because of the July 1st close date is because she's going to move some assets around and liquid some stuff. So that's why she's asking for that time period. So it was like a 40-something day close. And then it goes cold, I get nothing, you don't hear anything, but I still have plenty of time, right? I have almost 3 days. And then finally, I get a text message that says, we're going into multiple offers. And I said, okay, write it up so I can present it to the seller. Again, because the seller, or the buyer, I'm sorry, so I can present it to the buyer, the seller has to sign a notification form that says that we're going into multiple offers. So he should have received 2 offers, you hope. but I don't know if that was the case. My gut tells me this agent did not present our offer and was trying, I can't prove it, but if she gets sued and she works for Mark Spain.
Yeah.
And so if she gets sued, I mean, this is what will all have to come out. I have text message threads, I have everything in here, but I'm almost certain that the seller wasn't given our first offer.
Cheapest Bugatti on the market is 1.9 mil.
Lil Wayne sings about it most of the time.
That's like, I know Bugatti.
That means it's a big deal. If Lil Wayne is I just saw.
I didn't know what it was either. I'm like looking at her and I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds good. I didn't know what she was talking about.
Right.
And then Heather's like, you know what that car's worth? And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't even know what it is.
Pretty average. They don't
basic.
Is she a porn star too?
I just saw one in Franklin last weekend when I was driving through there, and my son and my husband were like, oh!
Yeah.
Looks like a Honda Civic, you guys.
It does.
I'm not impressed. Yeah.
Well, it's supposedly the color of money.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully it smells like money.
It smells like money.
Yeah, maybe.
It runs on money.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of had that happen this weekend.
Yeah.
And
I can't prove it.
well, one of my thing is that they had said I found out that it was under contract, never got anything back, not even a text message, sorry, they accepted another offer. And 7 o'clock, and the thing is, I always text or email, I always text, because we always look at our texts, not our emails.
Right.
Hey, I sent you an offer, please confirm that you received. I got confirmation that it was received. Yeah, and then, I didn't hear anything, but I had text later on that afternoon, the next day, like, hey, just kind of following up, seeing where we are. Oh, well, you need to talk to this agent, because it's a team, but it's under his name because he's the team of everyone else under him. And I was like, but everything had your name on it, and so anyways, I ended up finding that it's under contract. Still didn't get any kind of message back or anything, so.
Or rejection.
Or rejection or anything, so I got back with him, I said, hey, I hadn't heard back from this realtor that you had stated will be in contact with me shortly. I said, I didn't get an email, text message, a phone call, nothing. I was like, but later that evening, I see that it's under contract and still never got anything back.
It's so
This is
sad.
the following morning that I contacted after seeing it 7 o'clock that evening. And he said, I'm sorry, he's out on vacation, someone's fixing to call you here shortly. So the guy calls me and basically accidentally admitted that they did not submit my offer. And I said, mistakes happen. I said, but I need you to have your sellers just sign off that they rejected that offer.
Yeah.
I said, because I've got to have my documents closed.
Yep.
And I said, and that's an open document.
And then he did?
He was like, well, I'll get that to him. I said, no, I really do need this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can, so here's, let me tip.
But I was professional saying, hey, mistakes happen. I didn't bite them. I didn't get rude.
Right.
I was like, but I need this document signed by the seller.
Yeah. So here's a tip that I can tell you too is, if you have to go back and get a signature on something.
Always.
Right? This is the easiest way to do it. Call Tina. Hey Tina, I'm gonna CC you on an email. Okay? So, hey, we need this document signed, title's asking for it, the lender's asking for it, my office manager is asking for this, she's CC'd on this email, she is CC'd on this email, can you please respond to all? Yeah, it is the easiest way to get yourself out of a bind for something that needs to be signed that you may have missed, or in the case like this, this is an easy one to do, right? You know that he admitted it. You need to the chain email is going to make the difference. So call Tina, let her know, because then she can just delete it, not worry about it. Tina, or hey, Mr. Smith, I appreciate your time speaking to me this morning. Can you please have the seller sign this document? My office manager needs it for auditing purposes.
Right, we also like to say, my broker requires it.
That's
Oh, yes,
My
yeah.
broker requires it.
And then my broker
And she
requires it.
CC'd,
Yeah.
my office manager CC'd on this email, and so please respond to all.
Yeah.
It is the easiest way to make it sound authoritative without kind of being,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and worst case too, like myself
Or Heather, yeah.
we can just call,
Yes.
you know, it's
Yes.
just say, if you
Yeah.
have any questions, call her, call.
Well, what's crazy about this realtor is the same realtor that was constantly wanting to do that verbal, and this was about a
No.
year ago. And each time I had text messages, I even followed by emails, and I printed all of this stuff out because he was like, we're traveling right now, you know, but I will have my seller to sign it, you know, will that be okay? I was like, no, really, I need, if they're gonna accept it, I really need to get this.
Yeah.
And just constantly, and I was notating all of this because I got feeling.
It's a gut, so you will
So
get that
I
gut
started
feel,
writing
right?
it down.
Everyone's shaking their head. You know it when it happens, and you're like, oh! And listen, I've been in a parking lot, I screamed one day at an agent because she was verbal, and I took the verbal and I called the buyer. You got the house? She called me back and she goes, oh, well, the other people are gonna now counter. Can you come up with a price? I went out in the parking lot and I was a crazy woman. And so we got the house. But listen, you get the gut feeling. Will I ever do it again? Biggest, huge learning lesson that ever. I will never, ever take a verbal.
I had an issue come up, this is off topic, I'm so sorry, but I would
No.
love it if I would hear anybody else's input. This just recently happened, put an offer in on a house, my clients offered 405, the house was listed for 400. The agent would not respond to emails or text messages. She called me and she said, well, I just have to let you know that we have a cash offer on the table for 418.
Wow.
And I said, really? And she goes, no, everything's waived. There's
Wow, that sounds like a
no
great offer.
inspection. I'm like, we couldn't compete, and so we pulled out and did nothing. And I followed that house because I had a gut
Yeah.
feeling. That lady something was
Yeah.
not right.
She was
And
trying
so
to get
I
a
followed
higher
it, and
offer.
it still is in the MLS right now as pending. It's closed. I checked the tax documents. It closed for 409.
Oh.
And I saw a mortgage on it.
Yeah, and she's, you know, it's
sad.
You
It is, but what can I do?
They're not
Nothing.
supposed to say price.
Nothing.
You're not supposed to say what those other offers
No,
are.
you're not.
You're not at all.
So I thought that was very,
You're
this
superficial,
just
yeah.
feels
Could you ask to
sneaky.
see the contract, or could you ask
So,
to see the
there's
offer?
nothing-
So let me
in
tell you
that
about this lake
situation?
house, this $2 million lake house.
Yeah.
We ended up going back up, so this was a cash offer. She was offering $2 million cash. She just wanted an inspection, she didn't want an appraisal. And we offered $2 million at first, and we offered to the list price, 2.15, and then we countered this the last time at the 2.2 million price, cash. No appraisal, just the inspection. And so, we followed this, she bought another lake house, but she followed that house and knows that it closed, knows that it closed for less, knows that it didn't close for cash. She knows all this.
Yeah.
You know, she's not a dumb lady. She has a multi-million-dollar company and a lot of attorneys. And yeah, and a Bugatti. And so and all I can do is just cover my ass, right? Because I know if it goes to litigation, I'm going to be called up and have to explain, right? And that's all I did. All I did the whole time. And at one point, I even checked in with the agent. Hey, we're just checking in. We're looking at other lake properties, but she keeps coming back to your property. How's your deal going? Oh, fine, we're going through the appraisal. Oh, that's too bad. We weren't asking for appraisal. Okay, let me know how that works out. I mean, it wasn't snarky, but it was a little nice and full of, professional. Let me know. Keep us posted. So, and then she called the agent. She called their brokerage office. She texted me at one point and said, your buyer's calling our broker office. I go, I'm so sorry. She keeps going back to your house and wants to understand why the deal hasn't closed yet, even though we're looking at other properties. She goes, well, it doesn't look very professional. Can't tell a buyer what to do or a person what to do. She has a lot of money. She's going to do what she's going to do.
She was determined.
Yeah, she was.
So agents can just do that in that situation, the one that I gave you about, and there's just nothing
Correct.
that I can do.
When you had written that offer, you could have had them reject it.
Right.
Because I don't know if they rejected it. Sounds like you just withdrew.
Always
withdrew it.
request.
Yeah.
But also
But that's
too,
the only
no,
thing.
you could have put it also like
In
as a
special
backup.
steps.
Or put it, even though you knew it wasn't gonna work out or something, just say, well, it sounds like you have a better offer, we want it to be a backup offer. Just because sometimes maybe the offer fell away
Yeah.
and something else came in the last second and the best offer they had, maybe yours could have beat, this other one.
Yeah, so we end up being a backup offer.
Yeah, I would be a backup offer if you
For the
still
house.
want it, even though it
Since
sounds
you
like,
bought
'cause
another lake house.
sometimes when you have those multiple deals, you take one and then something happens, like day 1,
Right.
2, 3, but if there's other offers and you've already taken yours away, if you were to at least still been in the game if you were a backup.
Oh.
Is there a document that you have to sign, or do they have to confirm, yes, you're the backup offer?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, but you have to get them to present it. You have to get them to actually physically present it and get a signature. You know, and you hope that you're dealing with an agent that is ethical, but.
Yeah.
Because even if your client is a backup offer, you're still able to go look at other properties.
Yeah.
And if they end up finding another property that they want.
You just withdraw?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a withdrawal form.
Yeah.
She said. So she was a backup to the house, this lake house, she was a backup though, which is all cash, 2.2, with just an inspection, still the same close date. But when we finally made, and this is the truth, is I made the offer, I waited till we were all binding before I sent that other notification form, release. I didn't release her out of that property until I was binding on this other lake house.
Yeah.
Just in case, right? Now, this agent was a much more ethical person. I really don't believe she presented the offer.
Kathy, I know a lot of people ask me on the form of the VA and FHA form because it seems to be so confusing.
Yeah.
Would you pull that up and go
Yeah.
over that?
Yeah. Okay. So asking about here, appraised property, right? That's super important for FHA and VA. Has to appraise, because someone's paying for the difference. Pretty much in a conventional too, but, so that's, you got that? All right. This funding fee?
That's for VA only, not an FHA.
That's by usually the seller.
And if you don't know what that is, you just call your lender, you know, the lender
Yeah.
can say what it.
And then this non-allowable charges, that's usually your 260, right? And some other stuff. What I usually do is I put $1,000 there.
That's what I do.
Yeah. And so not every lender will take that though. So know that. You may have to eat it. So just be aware. It depends on the lender, and it also depends on the title company.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had it happen for a VA, and it was Pinnacle Bank, and Pinnacle Bank would not accept anything that was in there. So the 260 I was paying for, even though it said $1,000 in there.
Yeah, I always call the lender first to ask how they want that filled out, just because sometimes some things, the way they're structuring the loan, what's gonna go into, who's paying what, I always call first.
And for FHA, it's basically you put your purchase price up there where the appraisal is, and VA, whatever the purchase price agreement is, you put that amount up there at the top.
Yeah,
You see the
for an
dollar
FHA,
sign.
yeah, because if it was something different, you could do the appraisal gap type thing, but FHA usually it's a little one down.
And you do know, this is important to talk to them about too. I mean, I haven't seen it happen, but I can imagine it can happen, is if there is a public sewer system that is there, the seller has to pay usually for the tie-in, if they're on septic at some point. And then also, did they take out the 35, or the,
This is Julia.
I haven't done a VA in a long time. Have they taken out the inspection, or the termite?
They took, there's the wood destroying.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, just so you know, it's so funny is I had a buyer, this is very early on, like I was maybe 3 contracts in my whole real estate career. And I read this, you know, I'm reading everything, so I submit the offer and I sent an agent, hey, we're almost at the 10th, 14th day, whatever it was for inspection. How do you have the termite report? And the seller's agent, no, we don't do that. I go, yes, you do. No, we don't. Yes, we do. I go, look, and then I'm thinking, oh my God, do I have it wrong? You know, I'm new. And so I go back and I'm like, yeah, VA line, blah, 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 yeah, do. And so she had to scramble to get it done. So that's something to pay attention to is, Your buyer does not pay for that. They pay for the inspection, but they do not pay for the termite inspection. So it's one of your checklists that you need to stay on top of and say, hey,
And
have that.
it's a VA loan only.
Yeah, it is VA, not FHA. It's only VA that the seller's required to pay for it. All right, did y'all learn something today? Yeah. You have any other questions?
Thank you so much, Kathy. Oh goodness, you've been talking for an hour and a half.
I know.
really appreciate it. Thank you,
That's
thank
okay.
you.
Thanks for your time.
All good. Yeah.
You're fabulous.
All good. I'm
Yay.
sorry if I curse. I try to be very vanilla.
PG.
PG 13.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Are we all,